Well, Peter here in my radio shop. Today we're going to look at the Johnson Valiant transmitter, some work I've done to it. Video may shake a little bit. I have to kind of show various things on here, so we're sorry about the shaking. There's just there'll be a little bit of jittery, I suppose, but such as it is. This is a fairly good size modification for the Valiant. Essentially what we did is I put in, replaced the modulators with there's the modulators there with two television deflection amplifiers, 6 DQ5s, who fortunately came from Mark K1SRE. Thank you, Mark. And you also can see a heat sink there with a fan on it. Actually, the fan for the moment is disconnected because it went bad. Well, it was one I had hanging around. I've got a new one on the way. Anyway, that heat sink has got 4 MOSFETs on it. So what we're doing is we're driving the 60Q5s with 4 MOSFETs. And I'll post the schematic of all this so you can see what's going on with that. Also, I'll turn the flashlight on so you can see a little better on this side. You can probably see up in there. You can see what's going on there. So that's it's a bit of a mess, but it works very well. So also in here I solid stated the high voltage rectifiers. I happen to have those solid state rectifiers on hand. So also I added let's see if we can turn this around a little bit here. Get that out of the way. I also added this. That's about a 10 amp filament transformer. So I've added it to it. And basically the reason why I did that was to reduce the load on the low voltage transformer, which is right here. So, and it's nice and cool. It's running cool. So that really is, in my case, because I decided to go with the FET drives. You know, they draw quite a bit of current, a little more than a vacuum tube. So I decided to ease up on the low voltage transformer. Of course, replacing the 866s also made a difference too. So you can see here, here's some of the underside work. I also moved, you can see it over here. I also moved the, which is over in here, I also moved the choke, the low voltage choke, power supply choke, out to the back of the chassis. I'm actually going to use this I'm not going to put the case back on because of concerns for heat. So so in this case the chassis is going to be, you know, relatively exposed. So and I also did one other thing too, and that is, let's go over to here on the other side of the bench. This piece here is going to mount on the back of the underside of the chassis to give it some strength. It's kind of a channel that I had that sitting around here, so that really is going to make, at least in my opinion, a difference. So you can see some of the connections. I decided to go with get that out of the way. I decided to go with terminal strip type connections, so that if I needed to remove the FET module out of there, it comes out very easy. So I also did some other mods. You can see there's only really one vacuum tube, which is the one in here. So I've used one vacuum tube driving the FETs, then driving the 6 DQ5s. So I added a relay. I changed out the actually this is the second relay I've put in. This is now a 3-pole. This is a 3-pole relay here, which also drives a second push-to-talk relay, which is right. Let's see if you can get in there and see that, which is right there. So so that's a 12-volt relay there. So there you go. So I'm very pleased how it came out. The FET driver is basically by Frank WA1GFZ. I'm not the genius, he is. So that is his circuit with a few tweaks here and there. So here's a modulation monitor here in the. Let me shut this light off. Now the modulation monitor is to monitor the audio. So let's fire it up. Right now we're just firing into it's a dummy load. There's the plate current there, which actually probably should be tweaked a little bit. There we go. And then let's see what we get for audio. So we've got nice audio peaks here. We're getting about 100. You can see we're getting about 120, between 120 and 130% positive peaks. Just about hitting the negative line. I could reduce the audio a little bit, I suppose, but we're hitting the bass line. Not too bad, really. So there's the this is with a D104 microphonium, which is right here. So we'll go ahead and shut transmit down. Also, I added you can see this is the relay box, and also this is where I added a choke. So this is Heising connected. The choke is essentially in parallel with a modulation transformer, because the modulation transformer was clearly saturating. So by adding the Heising, it really did make a nice difference. I was barely getting 100% positive peaks with the previous configuration, and I was hitting it with loads of audio. So it was, to me, very clear that the transmitter that the transformer, the output transformer, was saturating. So, and I also the way I have it set up right now is I also added, you can see there's some fuses down in there. I've got 3 fuses. There's a total of 4 fuses now in this unit. There's the original fuse there. That's the low voltage transformer fuse, which is now fused at 2 amp. I could probably fuse it at 1.5, and then I added 3 other fuses in here too. So well, the original 8 amp fuse is now there also. So there you go. It's working very well. Any questions, post something online. But there's a lot of guys that have done some, put TV sweepies in these transmitters. This is just another variation of it. You certainly could do it with all vacuum tubes, like many others have done. But I thought this would be just a little bit different and sort of fun. That is the story from here.